from the podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. It's Grant's Rants Small Talk. Real Housewives of New York City Rundown.
Let the ranting begin. It's Thursday night. That must mean it's the Real Housewives of New York City Rundown. And it is. Surprise, surprise. It's the Real Housewives of New York City, Season 12, Episode 19, 21st Century Sonja. And to run down the show with me is my Instagram friend, my Housewives friend, Daniel Gehrken. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling in. It's late on the East Coast, but we're ready to go through the Housewives, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So how are you feeling overall? We're approaching the end here. This has been with us through all of quarantine. Are you ready to say goodbye?
Yeah, I kind of am, actually. I mean, well, it's yes and no, because this episode, I believe, I'm really happy to be talking about this episode because I feel like it's one of the first, honestly, exciting episodes of the season. Do you feel that way? I feel like there's the most happening at once.
Well, but I was going to save it for my final thoughts, but overall, I was really disappointed that it took so long to get to Sonja's show or her party.
Yeah.
I mean, the episode is called 21st Century Sonja, and I thought it was going to be primarily we had Ramona's birthday episode. I thought it would be primarily around this party. And I just wanted to see more of it. It was in the last 5 minutes. Nothing dramatic happened, which is okay. But I don't know. I mean, this one was okay to me. It has slowed down, though, for me.
But I like it. I think it works best when they're actually in the city. But when they're in the Hamptons and when they're on vacation, it's kind of it's repetitive. But when they're in the city, they're doing the things with their careers and stuff like that. And you actually kind of get to know them a little better, professionally. And it's more interesting. Yes.
Well, I'm a big advocate for the city living portion. What do they have going on, the businesses? And we'll get into all of those individual moments. But I'm so glad in a way that we did get to see that. And I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a little bit more engaging than just someone else on vacation at a dinner table, the same stuff, the same crap, really.
Yeah. Yeah. At the beginning of each season, they start off in the Hamptons, and it's the city, it's the best city in the entire world, and it's just there's so much going on, and there, you know what I mean? And
I do. I need more of the city. You're not alone in this. Yes. Many people I've had on the rundown feel the same way.
I feel like they're barely there this season.
We start off the episode with Ramona Googling treating anger at work. A group text is sent. What could go wrong with this? They're all, especially because they're all in the same house. So your group text, it's already awkward enough that the person they're texting is literally in the same bed with you, one of them. And there's no escape. So, I mean, good idea, bad idea. What do you make of a group text in a vacation situation?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I thought at least Ramona is doing some research and it's not her own thoughts. I mean, she's not looking up psychology articles, but at least it's anything but her own opinion is a good thing. And, at least over text, they're not screaming over each other. And I'm like, hey, it may not be the best idea, but it's at least something different. I think it's the first thing they've done differently when handling a situation like this in the first 12 years. So I'm all for it. It didn't really work.
I wonder if this was a producer whispering in her ear and be like, you really should talk to her, but find a different way. Maybe send a text. It's a really lousy knowing that it was going to light a fire, which it actually didn't blow up that much. It did put Dorinda on the defensive, but then Ramona blames Luann, who wasn't even in the same room, from stopping her from sending the text. I mean, you can't be.
That's what they usually do. It's the person least involved after. I feel like it's the person who got whacked the least at the end. They just kind of dump it on them at the end. It's just Luann had nothing to do with this.
No. We do talk about fashion a little bit on this podcast. Dorinda's pants looked like the Roseanne Afghan. Everyone seemed to like them. For me, they didn't work.
No, I agree with you totally 100%. That's exactly what I was thinking of the entire time. I was thinking of Roseanne's couch.
But they were bedazzled. She says she got them in London. Keep them at home. I'm not interested.
What did Ramona say to Tinsley last season about her dress? She says it was $3,000 or something. She's like, you paid too much. I don't care where you got it. You paid too much.
Yeah. I was very confused, but as I put it on Twitter, I didn't get a response. This text message, it was confusing because then they talked about Margaret, Giselle, and Vicky. Are we talking about the former housewives of Potomac, Orange County, and New Jersey? Were they on the text? I don't understand how they came up, and I went back and listened.
Well, I think like these are people that Ramona has taken shots at, and I don't know which Giselle she's talking about. I'm like the supermodel. Like I don't know if Dorinda knows. I mean, Dorinda seems to kind of know everyone. So, but I think Dorinda was just using that to throw everything at Ramona but the kitchen sink because Ramona was calling her out.
Oh, okay. So it was
that's what I think was going on.
I was trying to figure out because, like, they can never break this fourth wall and pretend they're on a show that's in different cities. So we're like 15 years deep at this point, rounding up. I mean, God forbid, like Ramona has like Melissa Gorga at a party and they have to like give her the title and everything. I mean, it's like we all know each other.
Yeah. Do you remember when Kelly and Bethany were going at it? The go to sleep moment, the most epic thing ever. Like, I think, what was it she was saying to Bethany? She was like talking about Gwyneth Paltrow. And she's like, we know what you said about Gwyneth. And she's like, who? And she's like, Paltrow. It's like name dropping.
Yeah. I loved that moment, by the way. I loved that moment. Dorinda finds Ramona to be jealous of her, which is never a good look. We have to pretend that each other are jealous of each other. I don't know. And then the thing is that Ramona is now saying that Dorinda is worse than her father. And I mean, we've heard the sob stories. Much about her father. The upbringing. Yeah, Ramona. Yeah, the terrible upbringing. And so, I mean, it's too much. The whole thing is a mess. I mean, he was, please, I don't know the man, but this seems to be reaching.
Yeah, very reaching. Yeah. Agreed. Totally. She's just being over dramatic. I mean, it's Ramona.
Yeah. What do you think of this moment Luann had with Dorinda? She seemed to really try. She tried to have a mature conversation, but Dorinda, she won't hear it because she's stuck on Luann's past. She will not allow Luann to assert herself above her. It's just, even as a friend, it'll just never happen.
Go ahead. I was really frustrated for Luann because Luann seemed to be approaching it in a completely different way, to just like, you could tell she genuinely wanted to get through to Dorinda, for her to get the message about her anger and the way she just attacks everyone who wants to bring up something she needs to work on herself. And it just was not working. And Dorinda was just like, nope, shut it down. Mm-hmm. And I could feel Luann getting frustrated. I got frustrated for her. It's hard talking to a friend who will not listen. So.
Yeah, I would be, especially because she's trying to clear up something. Like, something was misunderstood. I hate the feeling of being misunderstood more than anything. So,
and it's not a call out. Yeah, she was like, I understand where you're coming from, but we need to talk about this one thing. And then Dorinda was just not having it. She just can't own it. She wants everyone else to own it. She can't own it.
Yep. So there's this dinner. Ramona is praising the executive chef, but then she's like the complete opposite with the other help there that was pouring her wine. And thank God for the cameramen who capture it.
She just can't help herself. She just can't. Like, I think she knows she's about to be an a-hole, and then she tries to put a little bow on it. But she just, with the wine, I was just embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed for the lady trying to pour the wine and help her, and then she was just. Yeah. I mean, Ramona, she rubs elbows with enough people to try to just be, I don't know, just as A-class as she can possibly reach it. And for the fact that she's like, no, this wine is old, I was floored. Like, she never ceases to amaze me. She's like Trump. Like, no matter what she does, like, she can do something a million times, and she never stops finding a new way to just floor us.
She's wired one way, that woman, much like the other in question. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at her and I'm just like, I mean, there's no hope for her, but yet she's a great representation of women of that bracket. I mean, income, age, however you want to put it. There are a lot of women out there that behave like that. And it's ugly to see on reality TV. And of course, it's an easy thing. But I think there are a lot more people like Ramona than we think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially working in retail, for me, I can say, yeah, they do exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's ugly, but it's real. And that's the one thing I'll always give Ramona, is that she is there being herself, doing this ridiculous stuff. will never change, and she's essential to
we
the
wouldn't
show.
have a show if she wasn't that
She's
way.
essential.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean
She is
I
essential.
don't value her as a human being and like as this authority figure that she wants people to respect her that way. But she's a great TV personality.
Yeah, she's an essential worker in the Bravo world. 100%.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So the group text comes up, and Leah was not on. I can relate to this. I hate being that one person that was left off because you always take it personally.
Totally.
That sucks. No one, what do I have here? No one could take Ramona seriously because they're all like basically laughing at her at this point. We're trying to tell this like whole article thing completely flopped. It didn't open up a conversation. Nothing came of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing where it's like, I will listen to my friends if they try to call out something, but it's when it's some idiot who can't hone their stuff, like I'm just going to shut it. I'm going to laugh at them. Like,
right.
And these are all women who don't own their stuff. So when one tries to call something out, it pretty much flops each time. It doesn't matter who's doing the call out or who's trying to fix things. It never works.
Ramona, it never works. Even she says, I almost hate who Dorinda is. Then why are you friends with her? No, you don't. That's so stupid. That's a stupid thing to say. I hate who she is.
Yeah, that was a stupid comment.
Yeah, really dumb. And then Sonja jumps in and she cuts the whole conversation in half. She completely psychoanalyzes Dorinda and says all she's doing is just projecting, that we see the flashbacks. And let me tell you, if someone like Dorinda had her finger that close to my face screaming at me, I wouldn't be making excuses for her and her behavior. That crosses a line with me. Absolutely not. But Sonja, for whatever reason, can look at this very clinically and say, like, she's just very angry and upset and she's projecting her anger on all of us. I would not be the same. I would not be as cool as Sonja was in that moment.
Oh, I wouldn't either. And the thing is, Sonja kind of does this with the alpha of whoever the season is. I mean, she did this with Bethany the last couple of seasons.
Yes.
Whoever is the loudest and the most kind of scary or intimidating in a lot of ways, Sonja will go to them, feed them whatever anyone else is saying about them behind their back. She did this at the beginning of the season with Leah. She went right to Dorinda when Leah and Dorinda were having kind of a rocky start. And I mean, this is just what she does. And I don't know. I watched season 3 the other day. I was watching a few episodes. There's such a contrast from when Sonja first came on the show to how she is now. I mean, she's just so sloppy right now. And watching her at the Century 21 party, she seemed to be kind of coming out of like a dark place. She's really annoying when she's sloppy and going to people and feeding them info. It's just, I don't know. I kind of want her to not be there. Do you feel that way?
No, I like her on the show. I really do. For me,
when she's just,
I mean, well, it's just the sloppy stuff is like, I don't like anyone that's like that, especially a drunk adult is really, no one wants to take care of them. No. But what I appreciate about her is that she doesn't carry these little story arcs and these one-liners and these comments for weeks on end. I like that this group keeps it moving, and she's one of the best for that. And I appreciate that as a viewer because I can't stand when something goes on for like multiple episodes.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, that's my defense of her.
I just want Sonja to win and stop being so drunk all the time and embarrassing herself. You know what I mean? I feel like she's really a classy lady, but I don't know. She
could be. I don't know if she is, but
she could be. It's there. I believe it. I want to believe it. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume positive intent.
Well, the next day, Ramona thinks that Luann is always on the fence when it comes to her versus Dorinda because Luann gets a lot of perks from Dorinda in this relationship and this friendship, such as the Giovanni dresses. I don't know. Is Dorinda like this big hookup? I mean, I don't know.
I feel like she is. It seems to be like she knows a lot of people. And do you remember like the Halloween episode where she was the Lady Gaga bubble dress or whatever? And she, like in the snap of the finger, she got the wardrobe person from Saturday Night Live to fix her a costume in like, a few hours. So I feel like she does have a lot of connections, probably from her husband from that era. But
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. I mean the thing is, we were led to believe that Lou's show is so successful. I don't know what else
15 minutes.
she would need. I mean, it's just supposed to be this big smash hit.
Lou, well, a few episodes ago, Lou did admit that, like, at the beginning, her show was not making that much money. So I do believe, in a way, that Dorinda was kind of a help there. I don't think she could afford the Giovanni dresses if it wasn't for Dorinda.
Huh.
She probably got them for free.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've got enough advertisement out of it. She's probably got a lifelong, deal after all that. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know I think Lou was just trying to be in the middle, and I think she's trying to handle it well. I think she is handling it pretty well. She's handling it better than I would, to be honest.
Yeah, she is. I would not have the patience that she has. She's definitely sort of the voice of reason this season. Mm-hmm.
We're back in the city. We're now almost halfway through with this rundown, so it's good timing. And, it's interesting. Leah said that she's had to adjust her expectations. This is a new chapter for her company. And, I'm always having to adjust mine. I know that. So I like to see them work. I know it was like a minute and a half scene, but I'd like to see more. What did you think?
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I love them and see them working their careers and stuff like that, and just maybe, on things that actually made them successful, made them a name, made them interesting to put on the show. So I loved watching Leah. I love watching them all work on their careers on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder how much Leah actually makes.
Yeah, I wonder
per
too.
year. You know what I mean? Like, how successful is her company? I'm sure it was in the early 2000s, but I wonder.
It's an online brand. I'm not the customer.
She said she's not in the 1%, so.
Yeah. I'm not the customer, so I don't know. I'd have to ask my sister. Maybe it came up on her feed or something. Like, I don't know. She wouldn't be marketing to me, so I would have no clue what the hell it is.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely caught Bethany's eye, so she definitely is still successful. She's still current, in at least the fashion industry, I guess, right?
Right. I think so. We have the unfortunate, or however you want to view it, we have the opportunity to sit in on a Ramona therapy session. Loved her coat, by the way. Her coat, this nice black coat with this big faux fur hood. I would wear that.
Okay, first of all, her therapist is hot, and I don't think this is a mistake because we know how it is. So I feel like she spotted him and she was like, this is going to be my therapist. And she looks incredible. She looks incredible therapy. And like her new interview look too. I think we saw some new interview outfit, and I think, she kind of had some work done. And I think around her eyes to not make them so, as they say, crazy or wide. But I think she kind of had it redone to make them a little more open. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever she's doing, it's working. I mean, she looks amazing. Great. Yeah, she looks great.
She looks like her former self, like in earlier seasons. The last few seasons, it's like too much work has been done, and it's like she can barely keep her eyes open. But she looks amazing. Whatever she's doing, I want some of it.
Well, I don't know if the therapy is working because she said that months have passed since she was there before. It was like 3 months. Like, good luck getting any self-work done with that. I mean, I go to mine every other week, and I feel like that's just, barely scraping by. So I guess you could, 2-3 months, and that's enough, I guess. She spends her session talking about flirting and sex games, and the therapist is just like blinking and like watching her. And then at the end, he's like, well, just keep doing what you're doing. It's going really well. I'm like, okay, I like this therapist in the beginning of the scene. And at the end, I'm like, is this an LMFT or is this like a student? Like, who is this? Because I don't know if what she's doing is working. What did it solve? What did it solve?
I don't know. I feel the same way. I don't even know if he's like a hired actor or something like that, because I'm sorry. If it was a real therapist, he'd be on the phone and having her like picked up and like put someplace. Because
wouldn't you give up though? I mean, there's just no, like, again, she comes once every 3 months.
And just to 2 sessions. Like in 1 session, I would probably give up. So no amount of therapy is ever going to change Ramona. She is who she is.
No, I didn't see him giving her, and we saw bits and pieces, but I mean, I didn't learn anything. I didn't get, there was no fresh perspective other than like, very good, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, oh, that's not what I'm looking for when I go to therapy, because what I'm doing isn't working because I'm coming to you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah. Bethany was kind of doing that off and on throughout a few seasons, like airing her, her sessions with her therapist. And I don't know if Ramona thought maybe
sympathy.
If we saw her working on herself, we would think differently.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
I'll briefly
good for her though for going to therapy.
I'll briefly touch on this cabaret workshop. It's not even worth discussing. Sonja didn't show up. They need to have a script and a rehearsal for Sonja to come on and play Marry F Kill. Even Sonja was like, I'm not going to that. Like, I'm not going to be bothered with that crap. I'm just going to come on and do it. Like, what the hell are you going to script it for?
No, she just needs to do a rehearsal just to like hit her marks or whatever. But I mean, you put Sonja on your show to be Sonja, not a scripted Sonja.
Right, exactly.
So I didn't understand that. That didn't make any sense. No
rehearsal is going to help that situation. Sonja isn't going to like find her light. You know what I mean? When you're on stage, like she's just going to show up, back to the audience. She'll probably be half cocked. I mean, no rehearsal is going to make a damn difference with her. But
yeah, she can have all the lines memorized or whatever. But when the lights hit her and she steps out there and she gets an applause, she's going to do Sonja.
Yeah,
she's going to do her own thing. So there's no point.
We got a little closure with Leah and Bunny. We can move on to the Century 21 party as quick as it was. But I like Bunny. I like that she's a straight shooter. And I could, relate to the scene in a little bit of a way.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, like, I don't know. Some people thought, her mom was a little harsh. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a northern thing. Like, my family's from Jersey and, she was just a straight shooter, like you said. And I mean, what she said wasn't particularly nasty. She just said, some days I don't like you. And that's honest. That is just honest talk. Yeah. And I mean, if she really didn't like her, she wouldn't be, she wouldn't care about the drinking. So she does love Leah so much.
Yeah.
She's a great mom. I believe so.
The brand.
And her dad's adorable.
The lifestyle brand does exist. We're at Century 21. Sonja arrives with a group of friends with some boxed wine. I don't know what the hell was going on, but they walk in and the store looked lovely. I was hoping this would be bigger than just for the show. It seemed to me like an event just for the show because they had like the housewives like kitty cornered like to the side of her. So it was very much like about the show. I didn't love that, but it looked nice. I love the guy who runs Century 21. He seems like a real New York like. Not slime, but
authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He just seems like a shyster, but okay. Hello, sir.
He seems more authentic than the people Sonja has had on her team, like her quote unquote CEO and CFO, and like this line of people she had when she tried to show Bethany her. I mean, it was a fake line like a couple of years ago when she rented out a meeting room and she had like 36 people on her team, and it just seems more real this time. I really believe she does have a line and people who are actually investing in this and have, her back.
Well, I think it's an online thing. We've discussed this on this podcast. I think her name is signed through a licensing agreement, and these clothes that are made, in some unfortunate third world country are being exploited at Century 21 with her face.
Oh no.
So, I mean, but if it turns a profit, someone's name is going to be on these clothes. So, I feel
like she's closer to making money off of this than ever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who's making money at Century 21? Hopefully. I mean, the way retail is now, who knows? But hopefully someone's making money on this, and hopefully Sonja gets a cut. Ramona is drinking a drink that everyone in the Hamptons calls the Ramona. I didn't know that.
It's a vodka soda. It's a vodka soda.
Did you see that poor guy had to hold it while she leaned in to drink out of the straw? Did you see that?
God. Yeah, so awkward. And did she bring, she had straws on her, in her purse. What the hell was that?
Oh, she's one of those that has to carry around. See, guys can't do that. I can't be carrying around an aluminum straw. It's not going to happen. There's nowhere to put it. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't get it either. I've seen ladies like, they carry, like my stepmom, she carries like Sweet and Low or Splenda on her, some weird thing. I think you reach a certain age where you start carrying these kinds of things on you, but I've never seen anyone carry their own straw on them like that, at least not to an event like that. So, like I said, she never ceases to amaze us.
True. You never know what's going to happen, including the cell phone going off, which was an edit to me. It was an edit. I mean, like,
clearly.
Yeah. But
I feel like she was on it. I feel like no noise was made.
Yeah,
but, it makes great drama or whatever. We
have seen Ramona take phone calls throughout this season at inappropriate times and places. So, it's a good. It'll probably put it all together for this reunion that's coming up and show it. She'll say she's busy. She's very busy. So that's what we'll get probably out of that. But, Sonja credits her friends. Then she added in Leah at the end, which, I noticed Leah was missing. I noticed that Leah didn't really say anything about that. At least we weren't privy to anything that bothered her. But then they added her in, and everyone wished Sonja well. How can you not? So it ended well. It ended nicely.
Yeah, I wish her well. I hope that she does find success, because it's been a decade after her divorce. I feel like she's a very special lady, and she has a lot. She's more than an entertainer. She, I don't know. Hopefully, with this clothing line, she'll find her own thing, her own
final thoughts.
Let's head into our final thoughts. On that note that you mentioned about Sonja, I was going to say, can somebody make that test drive for her and just make a collector's edition? I'm sure there's a manufacturer somewhere that can make a batch of 200. And then, you can make it into a marketing gimmick. She doesn't need to pocket the money. It can be for her favorite dog charity or something. But there are people and celebrities that talk about it all the time that would invest. Do it. I think if anything, it's an opportunity to do something good for raising awareness or money for a certain project. You can make a rainbow version, have it come out for Pride. I mean, there's so much you can do with that just to say you did.
There are so many gay men who would buy this toaster oven. I would be there first in line at Kohl's or whatever the hell she would sell it at, because I use my toaster oven at least once a day. So she really needs to go back to the toaster oven.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's very practical. You know what I mean? It's not just an outfit. You use it every day. Very practical. I think she needs to go back to that toaster oven.
Yeah, just to say you did it so you can finally say, look, it exists. But what is your final thought?
My final thought is I really, it was without Bethany. I think it's the best season without Bethany. And I really like Leah. I think she's a great addition. And like even Leah said, she really elevates this.
Yeah, she does.
I really believe it. So I look forward to seeing more of Leah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with them building more of a show. Yeah, I have an issue with Bronwyn and OC of them building the show around her. No. This one, This one I like. This one I think they can build around her. A little bit more.
And, Ramona's friend, oh, man, I'm a terrible person. What's her name? Elise? I like her. I think she's got, some good moments for us. I think if they throw her into the mix, it'll be good.
What
do you think about this?
She's not going to make it. She wasn't invited to the reunion. She's already on the outs, so.
Yeah, but, oh, well.
Yeah.
Poor Elise.
Lou and Ramona sealed that deal. Anyway. Daniel, thank you for coming on the podcast and ranting with me about the Real Housewives of New York City. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for having me. I had a great time.
And more podcasts are coming, kids. I've been trying to enjoy the summer a little bit more. I've been tethered to the computer for work constantly, so I'm trying to get out there a little bit. But more to come, including Grant's Rants is training 5. Yes, that's true. In a week. Wow. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. As always, we'll be back with more rants. I love you for listening.
This has been Grant's Rant Small Talk. Real Housewives of New York City Rundown. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rant Hollywood Talk podcast.